What is going on, guys? This is Shadow.
And Ghost.
And Jess.
From Scully Gaming, bringing you old school arcade edition X-Men on the fucking XBLA. You know, this is one of my favorite games as a kid. I remember playing this at Chuck E. Cheese, fucking Pedophile Arena, fucking Guptals. I really enjoy this game. This is one of my favorites, actually.
You know, this game never gets old for me. I mean, doesn't matter how many times I beat this game. It's just one of those beat 'em ups that I always
now you
enjoy.
can beat it because you don't have to waste your fucking money on it. Adults now, if you go to an arcade, you're going to spend your whole paycheck playing a video game.
The only thing about this game is that when people play Colossus, and since you have infinite continues,
oh yeah,
all you do is just spam that one special ability.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, right. Sure, no one else can get any kills because someone has to be Colossus and someone has to get everything.
Hey, I have to be Colossus, okay? Colossus is the man.
I'm sorry, but Colossus, he's alright, but Rogue is the best.
Fuck
However,
you, Rogue
she's
sucks.
not in that game, which is awful. So I had to be Dazzler instead.
What was she gonna do? Just touch people? I mean, Jesus Christ, that'd be a whole new game.
She's got powers. Hello.
Depends on when the game came out. She might not have had those powers.
It doesn't matter. She can still touch someone and get their powers.
Not Colossus, though. I remember you saying that.
No, like, they made a comic where supposedly she got Colossus' ability, but it's complete bullshit because of his organic matter. She cannot take it. Same thing with Magneto not being able to control Colossus because it's not metal. It's an organic steel that's not, like, lead or fucking, you know, any of that shit. So Colossus is impervious to most of those guys, and Wolverine's claws can't even cut through his metal. So, I mean, the guy's a tank. Like, he's the definition of a fucking tank. I mean, the guy's a fucking monster. But, yeah, the game we're playing now is, you know, it's fun. I suggest everybody pick it up if you always liked X-Men. I mean, it's better than watching the shitty movies. Besides
That
First
is
Class.
true.
First Class was awesome.
Yes, that was a good movie. I will admit that. The other ones, and they're...
I'd rather watch those over Wolverine, though.
Oh
any
my
day of the
god,
week.
that movie was awful.
And then they made a sequel. It's like
Yeah.
fucking Ghost Rider all over again.
Yep. That's what happens, though, because Marvel, they need their money.
So does Hugh Jackman. He's apparently singing on Broadway doesn't pay the bills. I like how Wolverine doesn't age, but he's aged about 10 years.
Well, yeah. When you have two kids, you know, it kind of pulls you down a little bit.
Well, it's funny, if you watch the Wolverine movie, there's like scenes where like it was like 6 months in between filming. So he goes from like super buff to like fat in scenes. Which is fucking funny as hell.
I'm glad you noticed that, because
yeah.
I didn't even notice that.
But it's like Deadpool in that movie, man. Deadpool's a merc with the mouth, and the first thing they do is they sew his mouth shut and give him everybody's abilities. Like, that's fucking retarded. The only abilities he obtained was Wolverine's regeneration ability through Weapon X. That was it. You know, he was a mercenary to begin with. The only thing he got was regenerative powers, which pretty much made him insane.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he's all fucked up as he is, you know, which makes him a fun character. And if you play the Deadpool game, it's a fucking blast.
Oh my god, that is hilarious.
I mean, the title screen is him just sitting there in a recliner, scratching his nuts with his pistol. That shows you Game of the Year quality right there to me, I think. I mean...
Also, it was in Marvel vs. Capcom 3. He's had some pretty cool sayings. If you go against, like, certain characters, he would say something special.
Oh, yeah.
Like Ryu, he'd be like, "Oh, I've always loved Street Fighter. Can you sign my Spleen Free or something like that?"
Well, and it's funny that you mention that because in Deadpool, in one part, he fights a boss and he goes, "Sure you can," and he punches him through a window. So, yeah, I mean, the game is fun. Like, there's a part where, you know, he's talking to Cable. Cable's from the future. He's Scott Summers' son, pretty much, and he has the ability to go through, you know, different timelines. And him and Deadpool are like BFFs in Deadpool's eyes. Like, they're best friends forever. And, you know, Cable's explaining the whole fate of the world, and Deadpool's bored, and all of a sudden you get a thing that says, "End it now," and he fucking pulls out his gun and shoots himself in the face to get him to shut up. It's a fucking great game. I'm enjoying it. It plays like Devil May Cry, you know? Like, it's mainly sword action, but you can use your guns. So
the guns seem like they don't do
the
so
guns
well, though.
suck.
Just
Same
for
thing as
watching
Devil May
you
Cry.
playing it,
Yeah.
it just doesn't seem to work that well.
The guns are the last thing you upgrade, just like Devil May Cry. Upgrade your abilities first, then worry about the guns in your second playthrough.
So, I wanted to go back a little bit, and when this game first came out, when I saw it in the arcade, it was on forced television screen, actually.
Oh, shit.
It was that big, and you could watch just people play. That game must have made so much money. It must pay for itself in the first day of quarters alone.
I remember in our old mall, which you'll probably remember, I don't think you will though, where Klein's All Sports used to be in Latham. Mm-hmm. That used to be an arcade a long time ago. That's where I first played it. I don't remember what the place was called, but I remember it being X-Men, and then I believe Turtles, Simpsons, and then like Mortal Kombat all on one wall, and just floods of people in that area.
And Terminator with the two
gun,
Uzis.
yeah.
2 Uzis. I mean, that was pretty popular.
And Time Crisis was a huge one too.
I never played the first one. I always liked the second one.
Time Crisis was games where they had a wall, they had a pedal, and you actually had to hide behind the wall as you were playing the game. You know, more in-depth House of the Dead type of thing. But it was fun. I liked it.
I enjoyed the second one a little bit better because you got that 2-person action, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, as long as it wasn't on the PS2, because that one physically made me want to throw up, because you're just turning corridors every 4 fucking seconds.
And it's a split screen if you play two-player, which was bad.
I got such bad motion sickness, and I never get that. That game fucking literally made me throw up.
So back on topic, what are some of your favorite Marvel heroes or villain there, Shadow?
Oh, geez, you want me to fucking make a 2-hour video here, don't you?
Yes.
Why did you have to ask that question? I mean, he could go on forever and ever and ever because he knows almost everything about this subject.
I
Well,
do.
he does collect comics, so...
I did. I don't anymore.
Yeah.
I figured...
It's too expensive.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know much, but I have my favorite, so I've kind of figured I'll ask him some questions, you know?
Okay.
Well, if you want to start, Colossus is number 1. You know,
If you couldn't tell already, because he had to be Colossus in the game.
like
So-
Colossus will be a future tattoo at some point. But I always liked like the characters you didn't see that were main characters. Like, you know, everybody likes Spider-Man, Iron Man, Hulk, Cap. You know, all those guys. I always liked the more gritty characters. Like Black Panther was always one of my favorites. You know, I mean, he's a prince that turns into the king of Wakanda. You know, Wakanda's sectioned off like this primitive type area, but technologically they're more advanced than any country in the world. And that's just a great comic book to read. Then you got Moon Knight. Moon Knight's a beast. And especially in the newer comics, he kills his main nemesis, and he starts seeing them, so he becomes schizophrenic at some points in the comic books. So, I mean, that's cool. And he's actually one of those characters where he actually has, like, scars and, you know, battle damage to him. He's not like, oh, I just got in a fight, got shot 8 times, and I'm okay, you know? He actually has, like, bullet holes and fucking, you know, the actual, like, mental and physical scars from every battle he fought. And it's funny because in one of the comics, a kid asked him, he goes, why do you wear white? And he goes, so the villains can see me coming. And, like, I think that's a badass saying. I mean, he wants them to know that he's going to be on their ass. And one of his main things are, like, they're kind of like Batman's fucking batarangs, but they're moon-shaped, they're like crescents. And then he uses fucking brass knuckles with spikes. Like, those are, like, his main things. The guy's awesome. I mean, then you got Blade. You know, everybody knows Blade because of Wesley Snipes. As long as you didn't watch the 3rd movie, you're okay.
Yeah, that's true.
You don't want to watch Triple H with his Pomeranian fucking licking his teeth. But yeah, I mean, there's so many good characters out there. Ghost Rider was a favorite until Nicolas Cage got a hold of him. Which, oh my god, I want to punch him in his teeth. I'm going to go to his...
You wanted to do that before he even came out with that.
I did,
so-
but I'm going to go to his fucking pyramid fucking tomb when
In
he dies
Louisiana?
in Louisiana and kick his teeth in and pull his goddamn rug off his head.
Yeah, but you know what? His little tomb is gonna flood anyways because they always flood down there.
That's going to be awesome.
So
You're going to see
yeah.
floating pyramid with Nicolas
Yeah.
Cage in it.
Yeah,
Well, that
pretty much.
bring the definition of Cage.
But there's like a lot of characters, like Howard the Duck wasn't big until his movie came out, which got a lot of criticism. But it was an
Really?
80s
You're gonna
movie.
bring up Howard the Dog?
But Howard the Duck is awesome.
That
could you not
movie
like
was
Howard the
not
Duck?
for kids, though, man.
No, it was. There's a part where there's duck tits.
Boy, like,
and
really?
him making
Yeah,
out with
exactly.
the chick.
That's why I'm not even gonna go there.
Oh, Howard the Duck was a great movie. But there's a ton of them out there. Like Judge Dredd was a great. He's not Marvel, but you know he's an indie slash, you know, comic book. Excuse me, on Image. You know him, Savage Dragon, the Max, Spawn. I mean they're all great characters. I mean you have Wildcat and all them, and
You're just dominating this whole commentary and conversation.
It's comic books. I love comic books.
Yeah, I know you do.
Hey, he asked me a question. I'm answering the question. I didn't even get to my villains yet.
Well, other people have opinions.
But I
too.
didn't even finish mine. I still like Wolverine for a main character. Then you have X-23. Jean Grey before she went...
Phoenix.
No, I liked Phoenix before she went all like, oh, I'm so sorry I killed people. Fuck you. But even like the Old Man Logan series was awesome for Wolverine.
You
That
were
was
telling me
really
about
good.
that.
That was awesome
I
because
actually read that, and I was surprised.
I'm going to
That
give
was good.
spoilers on that. So Wolverine is in the X-Mansion, right? And all these villains break in, and they're fucking like destroying the place, killing the little X-Menettes,
Students,
whatever you want to
whatever.
call them. And Wolverine just goes apeshit, right? Like he's cutting through like Juggernaut and Doomsday and all these fucking different characters, right? So he's like, I can't remember who he's holding, but all of a sudden you see Mysterio, and Mysterio's a Spider-Man villain.
Yep.
His ability, he was I think a movie maker, like he did like the props for movies.
Well, I think more
So-
of an illusionist, though.
Yeah, well, that's what his character was, and he made the whole thing an illusion. So Wolverine was actually killing all the kids in the X-Mansion because they all looked like the villains. So Wolverine, all bloody and shit, starts like wandering through the woods, and at this time, all the other heroes are getting killed off, like just one by one. They're just getting train wrecked. So Wolverine walks to these train tracks, puts his head on it, and for like 3 days just lets the train run over his head. Like any passing train just crushing his head. And then he refuses to like take his claws out, has a normal life, and the whole storyline's awesome. I mean, he runs into Hawkeye, who's always blind in the future for some fucking reason. He always looks like fucking Bob Marley, or no, not Bob Marley, fucking Jerry Garcia, fucking, but I mean, besides him, I mean, I think the Punisher and Daredevil were in there for about 2 seconds, and they got eaten by raptors from the Savage Land. So, but it's an awesome storyline. Like the world is like the whole United States is separated by sections, kind of like Mad Max type of thing. The Hulk family owns one section, Doomsday's the other, Red Skull has one. I mean, Kingpin has his section. It's pretty fucking cool. Like, there's no superheroes. It's just these two. It's a badass fucking thing.
Now, from Marvel, one of my favorite heroes from Marvel was, when I was a kid, was Spider-Man.
See, I always thought it was Jubilee.
Yeah, well, see, I would put it to her. I'm just saying, But it was Spider-Man, when I was a kid. But for X-Men, I always liked Wolverine. Actually,
Because you look like him.
hey,
Short and hairy.
Actually, I do have a picture. I actually met one of the comic book drawers for Wolverine. He drew it on the back of a plate, and I think I still have it and might store it somewhere.
Nice.
But it's pretty cool. I mean, it's phenomenal how fast a drawer, like an artist, could
Oh,
actually
yeah.
do that.
Because they do it so much.
Here's a little fact for this game, actually, that you probably don't know. I actually met the narrator for this game. You know how I said, Colossus, Wolverine, Storm.
The guy that did it for like every game for 20 years.
Whatever. It's actually named Kyle Hebert.
Ah.
He did the X-Men. He did the narration for that. I think he just did the name, so like
Yeah, I can see that.
So it was pretty cool to meet him. He taught me a lot about voice acting and stuff. I met him at Genericon, the nerd convention, whatever. It was
I
fun.
went to one Comic Con, which they called it, but it wasn't really, it was like a small type of thing. But I met the artist that did Witchblade. Now, Witchblade is an awesome series, and the
Yes,
artwork for it
very
is
good, phenomenal,
gorgeous.
artwork.
I mean, this guy is right up there with like Alex Ross. Like, this is how good this artwork is. And the guy signed me an autograph. Didn't charge me. I bought a book off him. And, he's cool as shit. I mean, he signed an autograph for Jess because she was pregnant at the time, so she couldn't go. He even wrote in there, I hope you and the baby are doing great and all that. And some of those guys are cool as shit. Other ones are kind of dicks. I've noticed.
Kyle Hebert was actually a really cool dude. I asked him, like, hey, how do you get into voice acting? How do you do voice acting? Whatever. And actually, it's not like you got to know somebody. Actually, anybody can be a voice actor. Like you, me, whatnot. It's basically what you do is you send them a demo tape, and if they like your voice for whatever character they're trying to get people to dub, they'll give you a call and whatnot. So it was pretty cool to see behind the scenes of how...
Maybe they'll hear our voices on here and call us.
Yeah, good luck.
Hey, you never know.
Yeah, I still say good luck.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome. You know.
But the funny thing is, I was asking like, how much to get paid? Everybody asking him how much to get paid. Surprisingly, doing a dub over like a show doesn't pay that much.
Well, yeah. I
But
can
when
see
he
that.
does like Ryu or like a character from Bleach, one of those video games, he gets paid good money.
Oh, I bet.
But here's the thing that people don't realize: you're only dubbing for maybe a couple weeks or something, and that's what you get.
Yeah.
So he goes, I'm not that very rich. I still gotta work a part-time job.
Well, yeah, if you at least do a game where it's like, the full game of 40 plus hours and there's 25 hours of talking, then you're looking at a nice paycheck, you
Right.
know. But, or it's like the movies. When they do like CGI movies, you're talking like 2-3 years of recording. So your contract's built on how long you're there. I mean, that's got to be decent right there.
And the funny thing is, too, is I was talking to him, and he was saying that there's so many times when he's in the recording booth that he has to say the same line over and over again
Yeah.
because it has to be the right pitch, the right tone. And he goes, there's so many outtakes. He goes, it's ridiculous, but he goes, it's fun. He goes, if you're gonna do voice acting, you gotta make sure you love it, like how we love doing YouTube stuff for these people.
Well, yeah, I mean, now it's not like before where you had to record it, and then if it didn't play, you were fucked. Now you got all computers, you can just click, okay, that wasn't good, garbage, click, garbage, It's a lot easier to record shit today than it was even 15, 20 years ago. I mean, hell, when we were even, 5 or 6, I mean, CDs were just big, and, it was all cassette tapes. I remember recording shit on my cassette tapes off the radio, and it sounded like shit. But I didn't care because I had that song, But now, I mean, just, like, technology-wise, shit got so big, so fast. Like, I can't wait for another 20 years,
I'm afraid to see what'll happen in 20 years.
I'm really hoping for my hoverboard.
Yeah, I'm not hoping for anything like that. Could you imagine the crazy people out there as it is?
Or the RoboCop leg. That's all I want. One of those two.
No.
You know what's
You get a RoboCop leg, I'm gone.
when
That's
I
fine. I
was
can keep a beer in there.
I was saying, when I was watching X-Men the cartoon, and remember, like, I think it was like the first or second episode where Morph was supposed to die by that, like, sentinel or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. Morph was one of my favorite X-Men.
He's a very underrated character.
And then he came back, and then they had a backstory that, like, he didn't die and
Yeah.
stuff. It was kind of cool to see that, but he was missing for so long.
People
was
forgot
like,
about him.
Yeah, it was like, 50, 60 episodes before he came back or something?
My
like that?
thing is, like, a lot of the old characters don't get a lot of justice today, like Gambit. Gambit was a huge character in the 90s, and then he just disappeared. Then he shows up in the Wolverine movie, they make him garbage. The guy who played him was good. The movie itself sucked. But, like, Gambit's a really underrated character. I mean, even in League, there's a character that's fucking Gambit. Like,
Yeah, Twisted Fate.
to a T, it's Gambit. Same outfit, same abilities. I mean, I think they just did it as a tribute, because maybe they think the same way I do, It's just... He's a very underrated character, and I think they should use him a lot more. Colossus was the same way. For years, Colossus was dead because of X-Men Legacy. And then they said that he wasn't actually dead, he was imprisoned. And that's how they brought him back. I mean, he was gone for, like, I think 10 years, maybe more, for the longest time.
Oh.
Oh, well, here you go. Here's my characters, because you two did, like, a lot of talking about yours, especially Shadow here, because he's obsessed. My favorites would have to be Rogue, which you all should know.
Yeah, no shit.
One of my other Marvel favorites is Black Cat. I
Yes.
love her. She, even though, she's a thief, this, that, and the other thing.
Got big tits.
That doesn't really matter. I know to you guys it probably
It matters to
does,
us.
but to me it
Yeah.
doesn't. I like her as a character. I think she's great. I think that if they have, like, a good artist and a good writer for her, it comes out perfectly. Like, you guys should really check out the Claws series with her and Wolverine.
That was a good series.
It's really good. It's them, they're stuck in the jungle together. Two people with claws, pretty much. And she
Yeah.
freaking hates him.
Trying to fight Kraven.
Yeah.
Now Kraven hunts big game and all that shit,
Yep.
so...
It very.
It is a good series, I have to admit. I mean, I enjoyed it.
The artist that does it is great.
He is. He's really good.
Yeah, he does
Actually,
Dawn, and she's one of my other favorite characters. However, she is
Not
like
Marvel.
independent, complete nowhere near Marvel.
Next time you'll see a comic from her is probably another 20 years.
No, they are supposed to be doing some sort of one-shot this year, from what I read.
Yeah, they're supposed to do a whole series last year, too.
That was like 2 years ago. I'm still looking into that to find out if they really did or not. Spider-Woman is another good one, too.
Which one, though?
The one in the red.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know her name. I just know her as
I don't
Spider-Woman.
remember. I know Jessica something, I think, is the one in the black.
Yeah.
I don't remember the one in the red's name. Maybe the one in red's Jessica. I don't remember.
I think the one in the red is Jessica. Yeah.
I know there's
like
one
her.
of them.
I think she's good. Mystique, she has a few decent series out too. She's a good character.
Do you want to explain how Black Cat is better than Catwoman because she came out before her? Which a lot of people might not know about.
Sure. Yeah,
Go for it.
Black Cat is better because she's better than Catwoman because Catwoman is just blah.
You heard it here first.
You know,
Catwoman's overrated.
She is. I mean, Black Cat. At least she wears a mask. You
Yeah.
know? You don't.
Not goggles.
Yeah, not freaking goggles. I mean, come on.
Or the
Who
Halle Berry
wears-
version.
Who just wears
We don't talk about that.
goggles? Who just wears goggles? You know,
Dude.
you're a superhero. Or a villain. You're supposed to cover your face. I mean, yeah, Black Cat.
And she wears a wig too.
I mean, Black Cat isn't completely like covering
But she wears
her
a wig.
face,
I
but
mean,
she
she's
does
blonde.
something.
She's blonde and wears a white wig.
Yeah.
So it's not like you can be like, it's some chick with white hair, you know?
Yeah, you know, she changes it up. It's not normal.
So what do you think about Doctor Doom? I mean, he's been everywhere, especially in the Marvel universe. I didn't like Doctor Doom until like Marvel vs. Capcom 3 because just everything he says is great.
Doctor Doom is Marvel's like best villain, in my opinion. Unless you watch Fantastic Four movies, because the guy that got to play him should get shot for that.
Damn.
Not even that, man.
Really?
He was so soft spoken. Oh my god, I hated that guy. And then they brought him in the sequel. It's like nobody fucking liked him in the first one. That's why they're
Liam
redoing
McMahon,
this.
the reason
He
why they
sucks.
brought him in is because to make women go see the movie because they liked him. They love him. They don't like him. They love him because
I'd love to
he's
put
a
my
nip
foot
tuck.
up his ass. Because he was horrible. He ruined one of my favorite villains. He made that villain look like a pussy.
And he was on Charmed.
I
So,
don't give a
you
shit.
know.
Charm sucked too. That was for fat chicks that wish they were fucking witches.
Hey, I'm not saying Charmed was a good show. I'm just saying that they probably brought him in so they could have women go see the movie.
Fucking Rose McGowan. That she should get shot too because she can't do any movies. And she wants to play Red Sonja? Are you fucking kidding me? That bitch is like 4 feet tall. Bridget Nielsen would still whoop her ass for that role.
Bridget Nielsen is scary.
Flavor Flav tapped that.
Oh, God.
If you could pick an actor,
Titus!
Shadow, if you could pick an actor to play Doctor Doom, who would you pick and why? For the movie's sake.
That's a tough one. You know what? I'll say it because you don't see Doom's face. I think voice-wise, because Doom is all about voice, the fucking guy, we were actually talking about him before, that was in Dread. I don't know what his fucking name is, but
You still don't know his name.
I
but
have
you
no
keep
idea what his
talking
name
about
is.
him?
He's in Dread, Doom, fucking
Red.
Priest, Red. He's got a voice that could fucking chill your bones if he does it right. I think he's got an awesome voice to play Doom, and he's got a good build for it too. Because Doom, it's all about the voice, because you're not supposed to see his face. You're not supposed to see his fucking pretty boy exterior, you know? I think he's all burnt underneath, if I'm not
I was
mistaken.
gonna say, isn't Doom like ugly or something? I don't.
I'm
think
pretty
that
sure he's
he
all
should be
burnt or some
good.
shit, but he's from this, like, he's from Latveria. So he's supposed to have this fucking accent, not fucking South California fucking homoerotic accent.
And he killed his ex-girlfriend and turned her into a suit of armor as well.
Doom's a beast. He really is. I'm actually waiting for the reboot that I keep hearing about for that movie. Because Chris Evans is doing Cap, so he can't play Johnny Storm. And the way those movies flop, they might as well redo them like they did Spider-Man, because nobody wants to go see the first 3 Spider-Men anymore. But that's a whole nother video for me. I'll go an hour talking about those fucking movies.
Tobey Maguire, Spider-Man? No.
And fucking bucktooth Kirsten Dunst supposed to play the hottest chick in the Marvel Universe? Yeah, my ass. She can fucking play the retarded cousin of Mary Jane, but not fucking Mary Jane. You know? I mean, Jesus, you might as well just got Kristen Stewart's fucking dumpy face fucking drooling
Oh
everywhere.
my God, really, Kristen Stewart? You had to bring her up because she's absolutely awful. She ruins everything that she's possibly in.
She has like one tone of like facial expression.
Yeah, retarded.
Yeah.
She just looks so bitchy and
She looks like she's drooling over an ice cream
like,
cone.
miserable every single time you see her. She's got no emotion.
I think she has one picture online where she's actually smiling.
Yeah.
But it's not a smile.
Oh,
It still
yeah,
looks the same.
I saw that, and it was awful.
Alright, guys, the video is almost over, so we hope you enjoyed our rants on our favorite X-Men / Marvel / Image / independent characters. So, bringing you this X-Men gameplay, I'm Shadow.
Ghost.
And Jess.
From Scully Gaming. Peace!